idealized version of the Great Fairy in the Dark World from Link to the Past.
Mm-hmm.
And we
Mm.
are live now. Well, everyone, this is the OGL. We have finally reached. Took us about a year to get here, well, a little over a year. Anyway, I go ahead and let you guys introduce yourselves. I don't care who's first. Talk about what everyone else has been talking about, just not so
Okay,
long. We'll go right ahead.
I just have one thing to say. Someone's gonna have to do something about the volume.
No, I'm doing that right now. I got surround sound. I'm trying to take it down. Give me a second.
Okay, but aside from that, it's great. No, so can I go first, or
Go
Liger
ahead.
wants to go first? Okay.
Go ahead.
Um, this is Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor of BS Busters. As you know, the YouTube side of gaming has been a desert because people have been lost in that bread of the wild. But it's a great place to be lost.
Yes, it is. This is like one half end duel, and yep, just here doing the same thing too, playing Breath of the Wild on my Wii U. While my sister. Ah,
Well,
sorry
for
about that.
me, I'm actually watching my wife play the game. So
Hmm.
go ahead, Liger.
No, I was saying, well, I'm playing Breath of the Wild on the Wii U while my sister's in her room playing Breath of the Wild on the Switch. So there you go.
All right. Me watching my wife play. Funny story is that, of course, I reserved this thing a while back, like back in January, and whatnot, and I knew all knew this, but my wife for this game, and her mind is like you, and so she has no issue with that, and she's been watching me play another Blade, and I was trying to find stuff. Well, one day after I was playing Zelda, so she picked up the controller while I had it paused, stuff. Even though she didn't know which everything worked, she was hooked. She started out telling me, hey, I said I'm about to cook some stuff. She's like, oh, I'm gonna see what your ingredients are and see how I can help you make some great dishes, stuff. And her recommendations were actually pretty damn good. But now she's playing the game, and I've been trying to get her ass off for the last 2 days. It's kind of difficult. The Switch has probably been going for the last 20 out of 20 every damn day for the last couple of days. So yeah, if I'm not
Yeah,
playing, she's playing, and vice versa.
I know you're on my friends list, Doc.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, and I told her, I said, I don't know why you just don't, it's funny. This game you had really no interest in playing, and now first Zelda game outside of Battle Quest and Nintendo Land, which she loved, and she's mastered almost all those levels. But now she's cooking and hunting for shit, and I'm like, what the hell have I married? You cutting my time. I love her for that, and
You
it's
know,
great to have a wife or significant other who can love something just as much as you. Because it's a daunting game. If you show this game in my opinion, to any other typical woman, they'd be like, yeah, you and I ain't gonna work out. But my wife, she took to it, and now I really can't get her off. She's playing right now. Hell, she was mad that I took the Switch to work today because she's like,
no.
here I am, I'm trying to play the damn game, and you took it with you. I'm like, I took Zelda with me. It's no big deal. You can, I mean, I can go yeah. But just a little side
Don't
rant,
you have two
I mean,
switches?
side story.
Don't you have two switches,
Yeah,
Doc?
Yeah, but
only
you just
one
got one
controller.
game.
Mm.
Yeah.
Your wife might have to splurge and just get her own.
Yep.
That's what her whole thing was. I wanted to buy two of everything because we got two Wii U's, and the only reason I got two copies of Splatoon is because the second Wii U came with a digital copy of Splatoon and Smash.
Your
We
wife
want to
might
sell our
have
buy
to.
two comes to everything, but it may have to be the case.
Matter of fact, like I mean, if your wife, I mean, you guys missed kind of an opportunity. If you'd gone with Amazon Prime, you could have gotten that second copy for $50 off of Amazon.
Well, he
Yeah,
won't
and
see
see, I
Best
have my
Buy.
Gamers Club on lock. I have my
Yeah.
Gamers
Okay,
Club
fine,
on
then you can
lock,
get it for
so I get
48.
discounts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I got the special edition of Zelda, so there's that.
Yeah.
Um, what are your guys' impressions so far? Just the console itself, not the game, but the console.
Um, who wants to go
Uh,
first? Who wants to tackle it first?
I'll let you go first, Red, because you played it way more than I have. I'm not going to even deny it.
This console is sexy as fuck. It's sleek. It's got a really nice design. And playing it and looking at the features that it has and features that it has that are not being utilized yet. That's right, I said yet. I can kind of see where they want this console to go. Like from the way it's designed to its power consumption to how quiet it is. Like I hear these complaints people have about the system. They're like, the fan is too loud. I'm like, are we playing? Like maybe if you're playing in handheld mode, but like for me, like the design of this console is so smart, you know, because like, and we've said this before, like this is the Wii, like basically this is the Wii U fully realized. I mean, I have to go with
Yeah,
that because
I've actually seen this.
you're breaking up, Doc. You're breaking
Yeah,
up. We can barely hear you.
Yeah, you go back and forth a lot. I'm making sure I went from
This is better.
my height. Nope, because I'm making sure I went from Wi-Fi to data just to make sure that I didn't say that because I thought maybe I'm breaking out.
No, it was yeah, because it's like you're going in and out.
Okay, so I can switch back to Wi-Fi then.
Yeah, I mean it's not you, but
Well, I didn't know. Go ahead.
I mean, basically, this console is the Wii U fully realized. Like the promise that was with the Wii U that was not utilized by third parties because they were like they too have been consumed with third party development. This system basically said, okay, we're going to fulfill it. I mean, it's sleek. It's, you know, for people who want to use it as a portable, you can do that. Who are on the go, they can do that. For people who like me, I'm an old school gamer. Like for me, portable gaming and home console gaming are two completely different experiences. So for me, this is another handheld home console. I've got my Wii U hooked into my my LG smart TV. No, actually, it's not. This isn't the LG. This is the Toshiba smart TV. I've got my my Switch hooked into it. I've got like all my stuff like hooked in together. So it's like it's a nice synergy, and you know, it like this system is really made for you, for the gamer. Like if you're a console gamer like me, it's a home console. If you're someone who's more into portable gaming, it's gonna get that crowd. And you know, it's just very well made. It's very sleek. It's very sexy. I don't know where people like. I'm hearing some of the complaints people are having. They're like the kickstand, all that stuff. I'm like, well, for a home console gamer, I'm not really moving it around, so those are non-issues for me.
Yeah, but the kickstand is like I said in my video yesterday. The kickstand is set up for is to take the weight of the Switch, nothing else. And I don't know why people keep on like pressing
doing
down on
weird
that.
stuff. Yeah, they do. I mean, really, they're just doing it for they're just doing it for hits because they want something to bitch about.
But you know, but we won't talk about what they're bitching about, and I'll say this: the reason why, because we did that last podcast for one, two, they're gonna be haters no matter what Nintendo does. Three, I mean, there's just no point. Let them go ahead, either buy it, not buy it and be happy.
Yep.
Don't buy it and be happy. I really, I just don't care at this point. You know, if you're one of those people who just want to bitch about something for no reason, fuck you. Moving on. the way I look at it, man, the whole fan complaint. Now, I will say I've been in a session of Zelda, and it wasn't loud. But when I went to go grab the console, because me, I was just curious. I just wanted to check on it because I'm like, this is a big game. I'm just still wondering how the hell they compress this shit into something smaller than the damn iPad Mini. But it was warm. It was warm, not hot like the iPhone 5 or was burning in your pocket and stuff like that. It wasn't hot like that, but there was some air coming out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that the system's working hard, but of course, look how small it is. We're talking about a Wii U in a small package, so it shouldn't come as a surprise. But
Yep.
even looking at that, it's like, damn. I mean, that system. So if you are in handheld mode and you're saying that the fan is loud, I gotta ask, are you intentionally sitting in a quiet ass room with literally no noise, not even electronic mechanical noise and shit like a refrigerator?
No
That means you're
fan,
intentionally
nothing.
trying to hear this shit. Because any typical person in a house where there's a fridge plugged up, there's a toilet being flushed or whatever, you got rings, you got the TV on, you don't hear shit. Like you don't. I'm sorry. You don't hear a damn thing. You have a room with no other sound going on but your own down breathing. And then you gotta stop breathing so you can hear the down switch. Because the system's quiet. The system's quieter than the Wii U.
Um, I haven't done a side by side comparison yet, but I would say if it's not quieter, it's about on par with how much noise it makes. And here's the thing: the Wii U overall is a very inconspicuous console. It doesn't really announce itself very much. So, I mean, like, I'm hearing complaints from certain people, or I'm hearing certain groups of people on the internet complain about the system, like this, that, and the other, and the noise, all that stuff. I'm like, I haven't really noticed that. It's one of those things that,
I'll
not a
say
big
this.
issue.
If I can play PS4 games, Xbox One games, Xbox 360 games,
Mhm.
with the noise that they make, both the CD drive and the fans to keep them cool, for 7 years, you have no right to bitch about noise on a console because they were the loudest damn consoles.
And there's a
Guess what, people?
certain,
The only quiet consoles that ever existed are the ones that existed before CD drives. Think about
yep,
that.
they use cartridges. I mean, and here's the thing, like, I know, like, I've seen some people doing reviews of the system. This is a game card. Fuck you. This is a cartridge. Okay? I mean, yes, technically speaking, it is a card, but it's not even the first system to use cards. I mean, the Sega Master System, the TurboGrafx 16, used cue cards, but cue cards themselves are based off of cartridge technology. So at the end of the day, it's just with cue cards, it was thin and like the size of a credit card at the time. So I mean, now you're talking these things are the size. These things are a
They're the
little
exact
bit.
same size as the damn regular SD card, actually.
I was gonna say they're a little bit smaller than the 3DS or DS cartridges. They're very small.
No,
I mean,
but
they're
if you
thicker.
but if you
They're
take like a
thicker.
regular like SD card, like not the micro, but just a regular SD card,
Yeah,
it's
they're
basically the same.
smaller.
It has long connecting points.
Yeah, the only difference is that this thing is a little bit thicker, which I'm
Right.
glad. So basically, I mean, but at the end of the day, you're dealing with a cartridge, and you know what? I love this shit. I can get my my Nintendo Blow Me T-shirt back, and, and do videos with that shirt on, and be like, "Hey, it's a cartridge. It's totally is relevant."
But I mean, for me, the console is awesome. As I said, I took mine to work with me today. I didn't get to play much. I think I may play 20 minutes to half an hour. But even then, like, love it. You know, the ones, complaining about, oh, the Joy-Cons are hard to take off. No, they're not. If you know what you're doing, you can take them off without even going out of your way and without hitting other buttons to do it. It really can be done. You just
It's
got to really
sexy.
know what you're doing.
And it's very. I mean, it's this console is just very sleek and very cool. And
Exactly.
I really like. I mean, it's sleek, it's sexy. I mean, like I said, it's what they wanted. Okay. Let me put it this way: the Wii was the baby, The Wii U was the gangly, ungainly teenager, and now you have the sleek professional adult with the Switch. There you go. Okay. The GameCube was the embryo.
Yeah, and like to me, I'm just like, man, I don't see how anyone can complain. I mean, to me, the kickstand doesn't bother me. Is it perfect? Of course not. But you know what?
No
What
console
tablet
is.
kickstand is perfect? Really? Does every tablet come with a kickstand?
No.
No. But what tablet kickstand is perfect? We're talking about a piece of plastic. Now
Well,
I mean, you can go ahead and say that it could have made it where it's adjustable. That's great. But hey, one step at a time. We got a portable console on our hands. I don't
yeah.
think Nintendo knows exactly like what's the perfect kickstand that's going to work for everyone's situation. They
Well,
don't know that.
I mean, here's the thing. Okay, they needed to keep this thing below $300. Okay, and like the more premium type stuff that they add, like, oh, we want a better kickstand. Well, that's another $10. So now it's 310 or 309.99, and oh well, we want a packing game. Well, now it's 350, 369. Well, we want like we want all this stuff day one. Well, then now it's 400, and now it's like 300 was the right price point, and they made some sacrifices to get it to there. And I know some people are going to get mad, but I mean, if you're taking this portable, the way you're probably going to be playing it more often than not is in your hands. If your friends are doing the thing, then I mean, it's just like Liger said, it's designed to hold. Excuse me, it's designed to hold up the Switch. So as long as you're not bumping into it or doing anything weird, and please, not like that stupid ass commercial, don't go to a basketball court and have the kickstand up, because some people are assholes. They will spike a basketball at this shit. Don't do it, please, Jesus. Your expensive ass thing. Don't do that.
My wife went into a Hinox just now. I don't think it was on purpose.
Yeah, yeah. Look, she messed up right there. But yeah, the Hinox is the it's a reimagining of those big one-eyed bomb-throwing SOBs from Link to the Past that were really, really tough. Like when you first got to the Dark World, they took like 6 hits with the unupgraded Master Sword. So, however, if you threw a bomb at them, that was like one hit kill because they were weak like that.
Yeah, but like I say, me personally, I'm enjoying the system. No, I won't
Mm,
say the system is flawless because it's not. But the
well, no
flaws
system
that
is
I have with the
flawless.
system are so minute
Minuscule.
and irrelevant. So it's like, I could bitch about the kickstand because yes, do I want multiple viewing angles? Yeah, because maybe my couch sits lower than my dining room table, and so that angle that it comes with is not the most convenient. I get that. Okay, but still, if it's not the best angle, you know what you could do?
You can buy a
You can pick that
third-party
bitch up.
kickstand.
No, you can pick that bitch up and play it in handheld mode. You see
Well,
how that works?
yeah, but you can also buy a third-party kickstand for like $10 or $15 that will give you all those options.
And then one thing that also gets to me, man, that UI is so farking fast.
I was going to say it's sexy. It is. It is.
And I've seen people say, it's incredibly simple. There's nothing there. It's like, but that's the point. Like the Xbox 360, UI was actually okay. It was even good in some respects, and I say that because although it was smooth. It wasn't it was the fastest, and to me, but well, not the fastest, but it was smooth and it had things placed properly.
Yeah. It
And then the
was.
Xbox One UI is just, to me, it's garbage. Like it's so laggy, it's ridiculous.
You know.
And now the PS4 has the better UI than the Xbox One, but this UI, I'm like, I'm not confused at all. I don't see too many options and choices and shit. I'm not being confused about, what adjustments I can make. And when I mean when I switch screens and switch options, it's lightning fast.
here's what I like about the UI. It's very sleek, but like you can get into the nitty gritty. You can go to parts of it and get into the nitty gritty if you're that type of person. You can go into it deep into it. I like that. It's for casuals. It's easy to get into, but for someone like me who like knows about the specs and stuff like that, when it comes to certain things, you can get down into it. And here's the thing. Like I see a lot of stuff that hasn't been activated yet. Like they haven't added the functionality for it. And this thing's going to be a fucking beast when they add Netflix, when they add Hulu, when they add other apps and stuff like that. Because think about it. Like you go someplace, you've got your charger, you've got your Switch, and like you got to kill like maybe an hour or 2 hours. You're like, oh shit, I don't feel like playing a game right now. You pull that shit out. You watch Daredevil, season 2, season 3. You watch Iron Fist, season 1 on your Netflix thing. You put it down, or maybe you're playing a video game. Maybe you're playing Mario Odyssey, right? And you're stuck. And you open up the internet browser. And you're like, oh well, shit, that's what I got to do. And you go back to the game, and you just everything, even the sleep mode and going from one thing to another is very smooth, very quick, very no hassle. It's almost instantaneous. I love it.
Oh, dude, the sleep mode, guys. For those that don't have it, this is arguably the best sleep mode slash power consuming. I mean, it's great. Like to me, if it's not on par with the 3DS, it's beyond it. Because I left my 3DS in like standby mode for 2 days before, and the thing still had half a battery. So like suspended or whatever. This sleep mode, I put it in sleep mode 100%, and literally about like 4 hours later, it was sitting like I think 80 or 85 or something like that. I was like, damn, like it really does not waste any power. Hell, I'm just wondering how the hell they pull that off because I mean it really does hold your shit there, and you don't lose any progress. You don't even lose a damn frame, and the battery is not draining in this thing. It's
Nope.
not.
It's a
I don't
really good
understand how they did it, but it's a miracle, guys. Like honestly, if you had to put this thing in sleep mode and you couldn't touch it for 4 or 5 hours, trust me, you don't have to worry about half your battery being gone.
It
You
holds
may
your
have lost
charge.
about 10 to
Yeah.
15%.
It holds it. It holds charge, even if it's not plugged in. It holds charge because like it basically suspends everything and goes into a sleep mode. And when like its sleep mode is like a really friggin', it's really economical. But that's that power PC architecture for you. That's that's low power consumption with high performance if you program it to that particular architecture. So yeah, it's I mean, like I said, it's not perfect, but no console is. But I mean, the flaws with it are very minute. They aren't like, I mean, we're not talking Xbox 360. Oh shit, there's like a 40% failure rate, or
No, not at all.
I mean, we're not talking like those types of issues. We're not talking about PS4 like the first the first 6-7 months of games are just like multiplats on other stuff because the biggest selling game on the system right now is something that you can't get on anything except for the Switch and the Wii U. That's it. Your SOL. You want to play this game, you got to go. You want to get a Big Mac, you got to go to McDonald's.
Exactly.
Speaking, this is a weird aside, but speaking of the Big Mac, am I the only one who thought that when McDonald's did their Little Mac, their Grand Mac and their Mac Jr., they should have called the Mac Jr. Little Mac? Wasn't that like a missed opportunity?
Yeah, I do think so. But and okay, another complaint. I don't. I'm not trying to bring up a whole bunch of complaints, but I seen a couple of people online complain about the ability or inability or difficulty, I should say, of sliding out the Joy-Con extenders that come with the Switch. They say it's very difficult, and I didn't realize this item because when I first got it, I slipped them on just to see how I felt.
Yeah,
And for the life of me, I couldn't get those bitches to come off. Then I realized these little extenders have a white lever, a lock lever at the bottom.
yeah. And you just basically,
And you may be thinking like, oh, this is nothing. Like, no, it really does lock them bitches in place. You can't take them off without pushing that thing down. When it's pushed up, they cannot be removed. And I was like, damn, like I didn't even notice that right off the bat until I just saw something and it had lock written on it. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. But I had that same difficulty. I thought it was just something I was doing wrong. But no, that little white lever is actually a locking mechanism. So if you push that down, you could take those shits off
Yeah,
with
I mean,
ease.
I think a lot of people are just looking for shit to bitch about. That's what I think.
And I don't want to hear anyone say, like, honestly, all this shit about it's warm, it's hot. Look, I'm pretty sure you held hotter shit in your hands than a console.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just gonna put it out there. And I really can't get enough of the system. Even my wife, her first words when we were in the car, she couldn't even wait to open it up. But even her first words were like, "This is so awkward," but not in a negative way, a good way. She could not believe she was literally holding what is essentially a Wii U in her hand and was able to do the update, which only took like even on mobile hotspot, it took like 5 or 10 seconds.
Yeah, that update was ridiculous. You know what that was? That was basically Nintendo. This is to make sure your ass didn't steal this shit off the back of the truck. You didn't steal this shit off
They
the back of the
they
truck.
basically locked up all the gameplay until you did that update because like I even heard like I think certain people did like get like a copy early or something, but the system won't let them play it.
Well, look, listen. I don't know about people getting the shit early legitimately. Here's what I know: the dude made a video on YouTube. Yeah, I got this. I can't tell you the retailer because he got that shit off the back of the truck, motherfucker. You stole that shit. That shit got stole.
But it just to me, I was like, oh, like man, as I said, good shit all the way around. To me, the system has minor flaws, if nothing else, but it's a great system. I think this is going to change home consoles for generations to come. It will probably be another 20, 30 years before we have a traditional home console, if ever again. But this right here, I would say this: if the competition doesn't attempt to follow suit in some way, shape, or fashion,
They're
they're
fucked.
going to fail miserably.
They're
And
fucked.
and I'm telling you this because for the first time ever, like I have a 3DS, I had a DS. I mean, okay, some people got the Vitas and PSPs. People, when you can play full-fledged games, for example, you guys may be thinking to yourself, "Well, it's Zelda, it's their game." Okay, so let's say the game you think is the most graphically intensive and pushes the console the most is Call of Duty. When they drop Call of Duty for the system and you're literally playing this AAA blockbuster game on the go, when they drop a Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead, I'm not saying if it will happen, but if it should, when they drop these games on this system, guess what? You won't have shit to say. Your only bragging right will be, well, my version is 1080p. Okay, so we got 900p portable. I'll deal with that. 720 if it's portable, 900 if it's docked. I'll deal with that because guess what? When I go to work, I can finish my game. When I go
Well,
out, I can finish my game. But when you leave the house,
your game is SOL, Jack. But speaking of other companies copying, I think here's what I really think, and I have no proof of this, but it makes sense seeing where Microsoft's been going. I think that within the next few years, I think Microsoft is going to I think Microsoft's going to have something kind of like where you can play anywhere, kind of like the Switch does. Except what they're going to do is they're going to be like, well, um, we can stream, we can use the power of the cloud to stream the game to tablets and laptops. With Xbox Live or our Xbox One subscription service. So, and that way they get around the heavy lifting of, um, the game or whatever. I could see that, and that'll be their answer to the Switch. But it's not going to be a good answer because you'll need a good internet connection or a hard drive that's like got like a verification on it, so you can play these Windows 10 games or whatever. Basically, Nintendo basically took their competition with the system and said, we're going to take what we're good at and we're going to combine all our martial arts moves and curb stomp you in the nuts. How you like that?
Yeah, and you know, like as I said, to those listening or they don't have one yet, if you're on the fence, this is not from a Nintendo fan. This is from a gamer. I'm a fan of all consoles. I have the PS4, Slim, Xbox One S, Xbox 360, Slim, PS3, Slim. I have these systems and all the ones before that as well. Trust me when I say, expand your gaming. Take the plunge and be able to game outside the house. Simple as that. Be able to be like, okay, like what the Wii U does right now, which is like, okay, you want to watch TV? Cool. I just put on my gamepad. Imagine that, but hell, whether you're on the TV or that, it doesn't matter. Or outside, it just does not matter. And if you're worried about, hey, you know, well, it ain't got games. Not a big Zelda fan. Okay, I get it. If you don't care for Zelda, I get it. But I will say this: if you are interested in Horizon Zero Dawn, if you like Fallout, if you bought any other adventure game, even in the past, like Shadow Colossus, stuff like that, Dark
This
Souls,
game has a lot of that in there.
Dark Side, and stuff, like honestly, if you purchase any of those games, you liked any of them, even remotely, you have to at least try Zelda out.
Yep.
I'm saying try. Gamefly it, rent it, I don't care, but you have to at least try. And I
And
say that because I can almost promise you, I won't promise that, but I can almost assure you that you won't be disappointed.
nope, nope. You know what the game reminded me of when I started playing it? It was like one of the. It wasn't an like immediate recognition, but it kind of reminded me of it. Dragon's Dogma was a Capcom game, kind of like this game, except this game is way better. But like some of the things where you like run around, and if you f around and run into the wrong people, you get your ass kicked easily. Like this game doesn't hold your hand. This Legend of Zelda is not for people. Like I don't think you would get as much enjoyment out of this game if you've never played a Zelda game. I don't think.
Yeah, it's just, I just, I personally can't, like, if you aren't even a fan of Nintendo, I will honestly say, look at the praise this game is getting. Whether or not you believe some of it is paid for, fake, whatever the case may be, ask yourself this. As a person that likes games, don't you think it's at least worth a try if a game gets a 90 and above, or, average? I think it's at least worth a try if that's the average that it's getting. This game is averaging a 98 or 99 right now. It's ridiculous. So, as far as the game, it is a culmination of many different games, or I'll say many different parts of games. I would admit that. And you can tell that they got inspiration from other places, but you can also tell they took those things that games either didn't do well or maybe did well, but just didn't exploit them. And Nintendo took their shit to the next level with this game. I have never played a game before that it is completely open to the way that even when the game starts, you can go any direction you want. Any direction you want. You don't even have to do the story if you don't want to. You don't. You don't have to talk to anyone to open up to open up the map exploration and explore the different sections of the world you're in. You have to talk to anyone. And if you want, you don't have to fight anybody for the most part. You don't. Completely open, and that is the beauty of it. It ain't, the graphics is the story is great. I'm loving it so far. But the beauty of this game is kind of the same reason people love Grand Theft Auto 5. You go online and you just shoot up people and this and that, but it's different. Knowing that you can hunt for food, cook ingredients, hunt down animals for stuff, try to capture horses and deer and complete shrines and missions and side quests. You got all these options. That's the beauty of this game. And literally anything that you think would be straightforward in another game, this game you have at least two plus ways to complete any mission.
More than
You
that.
can buy a guide that says you must do A, B, C, D to beat this boss, or A, B, C, D to beat this puzzle. Every puzzle I've done so far, every shrine, there's at least two or three ways to complete it.
Yep.
and that's only from what I can tell.
Yep. I mean, like,
My wife and I have done the same puzzles. I've done it one way, she's done another, but the end result was the same. Even Terrell, the Insane Game Freak, I watched this video today, where one of the shrines is basically like a little tipsy topple table with a big marble in it, and you got to guide it through the damn maze to get to the end. Well, he just flipped his controller upside down, where the bottom part was a smooth surface.
yeah, I mean,
He literally flipped the whole damn maze upside down. So instead of a maze, it was just a flat surface, and he got past it.
well, I mean, the game really encourages you to essentially do like it
Create
encourages
your
you.
own path, basically.
Yeah, it encourages you to really kind of do your own thing, and I like that. I like how the game basically says, well, do whatever you want. I mean, you know, whatever makes you happy. My only gripe about the game, and I know some people will be like, oh, you have a gripe. My only gripe about the game is that it suffers from the same issue as another game because the people who helped make this game are this like, yeah, the core Zelda team made it, but they also got a lot of help from Monolith Soft. This game suffers from the same problem as Xenoblade Chronicles X did, which is like it's this massive open world, and the story isn't given to you in a linear fashion. If you want to discover more about the world, you have to do these side missions and stuff like that. And it's like you can miss a lot of stuff. And if you really aren't investing the time to really play the game, like if you're one of those people who's speedrunning this game, you're not gonna get the full breadth, pun there, of what's going on in the game. And that's kind of a downside. If the story was a little bit more, if the game was structured in a more linear fashion, at least for the beginning of it, it maybe wouldn't be so bad. But this game, like this is the Legend of Zelda, where like, well, people say they don't want tutorials, they don't want linearity. Here you go, have at it. Now, if your ass fucks around and runs into a monster that one shots your ass, and because I like this new physics engine they have this game in, where Link like ragdolls, like it goes all in and falls off the
Yes.
cliff.
The
It's like, oh
physics
god,
engine
oh
in this
shit.
game, the physics engine in this game, guys, it is amazing. Like, for example, my wife is she's at a location where, what they call the Zalfos, those lizard creatures.
Yep. Liz Alphos, yep.
So, but these were like a step above the normal ones. I think these like maybe like blue or something. It was like this little rock canyon that had like a total like 6 to 8 of them guarding it. Some were up top, some were down below.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That's the Lana Ryu promenade.
I think so.
Yep.
So she was on top. She was on the upper part, of course.
Mhm.
And of course, she knew in her mind that if she tried to fight him head on, more than likely she'd get ambushed one way or another. Because three or four of them got arrows, and the others got spears, and then there was a couple of bokoblins down there as well. So it's kind of like, yeah, if I did do that, I have to have some really good fighting skills to live. But so she started taking out her bombs and just dropping them, and letting them, and she literally just sit them down, and they rolled down the hill. Well, she did this fight maybe a good 2 3 minutes. And on one occasion, she dropped it. They saw it, got curious, stood up, and ran close to it. When they got close, she blew them up. She blew one of them up so high, 10 literally hit the the cliff where she was standing at. Of course, he stunned the shit, but literally his chin hit the cliff, and her eyes were so big when it happened. She was like, "Well, I wasn't trying to blow his ass up here to fight me," but literally, the way the physics is designed in this game, it is awesome. I've literally seen one of my bums roll down the hill like I was playing golf, and it's just following the little trails, the little dips, and everything. It's a phenomenal graphics, a phenomenal engine. I mean, I just can't say it enough. The physics engine in this game is ridiculous. It's the best that I have seen overall, and you won't be able to get enough of it. You really, really won't. You're gonna play with this a lot. And like Red Fox said, there's going to be some stuff that one shot you. I was trying to catch a horse, and I was creeping at a decent speed, but I guess I wasn't as quiet as I thought I was being. And right when I clicked the button to mount, I wasn't close enough. The horse immediately noticed me, gave me the sweet chin music, and I rolled down the hill like 12 times.
Oh yeah, like this game, I've said this before. This game does not f around. This game, like this is literally the hardest Legend of Zelda. Like I know some people were bitching about the DLC. Oh, they're gonna sell you a hard mode. This game is hard. Like the default setting is hard mode. Okay.
And even right now, like for example, this to touch on what you mentioned earlier about going like doing things your own way. My wife ran into a Hinox. She's still fighting it right now. This has been going for the last 15 minutes. She doesn't feel confident to actually do like most people are doing right now, which is fight it head on. You know, Zelda. I mean, I'm sorry, Link versus the Hinox, where it's like you're in a duel. She's actually taking her time to chip his health off. She will go up to him, sneak up, hit his ass with a heavy weapon until he actually stands up straight and notices her. She'll run away. She'll plant bombs while he's following her and blow them up. Once he gets to a certain point, he backs off, turns around, and goes back to his sleeping place.
Is this a
And
skull
repeats the
Hinox
process.
or a normal Hinox?
The really big Hinox.
Okay, so I mean, because there's one that's undead. That method doesn't really work because it only comes out
This
at
is
night.
normal.
Okay.
One.
Well, if she has bows, if she has her bow and arrow, if she shoots him in the eye, it'll stun him, and then she can run up and do some more damage.
Yeah, but all she's doing right now, she's done this like 12 times, and he's down like 25% health. So she's actually doing it, but she's doing it all. I'll pick him off slowly but surely until he dies.
Yeah, I mean, this game, like you can play this game any way you want to. It rewards experimentation. Like I've seen people take out enemies by like putting stasis on a rock, and they hit it like 3 or 4 times, and they ride on it into a camp, and it like hits a dude and knocks him the hell out. I mean, this game really. I mean, I don't know if stasis works on enemies, but if it does, whew, this game's gonna be fun.
Yeah, but just the amount of choice you have in this game, it's unprecedented, people. It really and truly is. And guess what? There is no hand holding
Oh
at
no,
all.
no. This game,
They
this
literally
game will
drop
hold
you
your
in the
hand.
world. They literally drop you in the world after you do the first cutscene and you walk out into that damn cliff. It's your choice. They won't tell you, oh, you go here, you do this, like that's like the only instruction you get is to hey, complete these first 4 shrines. That's it. But after that, they don't really tell you where to go, what to do. Like you
Well,
kind of know where you have to go to progress the story, but at the same
yeah.
time, like there's no linear fashion where it's like, okay, well, I got this one area highlighted on the map, but I got these 10 areas that are blacked out. Well, I can't go there, so I must have to hang around here.
No,
Walked,
no.
ran, and galloped and flown to shit that is completely black on the radar. And I've even done like quests in that area and still not even have the map loaded.
Yeah, the game, like I won't say that the game doesn't kind of give you. The game gives you a suggestion, right? A very tentative suggestion. You're like, well, you might want to go over here and do this because here's the thing: the way the game basically keeps you from just doing whatever the hell you want is that it'll put enemies in places where oh you done fucked up, you went too far. Like in Lanaryu province where you have like Kakariko village and Hanato village, um there's like there's this shrine like in this bay that's on this cliff top across from the bay, and you can walk there, right? And but before you get to the shrine, there's there's a camp, like one of those Bokoblin camps. But at the time, I only had like 5 hearts, and all these Bokoblins were blue Bokoblins with really good weapons, like soldier swords and like dragon bone Bokoblin shields, like really good shit. And I mean, I was totally unprepared, and they wiped my ass out the first time I ran into the group of them. But then I got smarter. I got a little bit better, and I killed them. And basically, I have a place where I can farm for really good weapons, like after the blood moon comes and they respawn. And it's like, but like I really wasn't supposed to go there because these enemies were way above my level. But because of my skill and like how I got better at fighting, it was like it wasn't that big of a deal. And that's what this game basically it says like we will put barriers in front of you, like a mountain that's really, really high, a barrier that's really hard to cross. But if you're skilled enough, you can go around it, you can go under it, you can go over it, you can ignore it all together and blow it up, whatever. I mean, the game really rewards lateral thinking, and I love that shit. So yeah, this game is really good.
Oh, I'm sorry. Could you hear me?
No, it's like
Okay.
I thought you were gonna. I thought you were just like you cut out for a second.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, what I was saying is that I like this game because, like I said, as I mentioned, the choice, the number of ways you can do things. There's no set amount of ways to do stuff. I was in a canyon that had like maybe 6 enemies, and they were all reasonably powerful. I mean, I could take them on, but you gotta be smart. Even when they're different, their first goal is to surround you. Like you never see just 6 of them coming at you all head on. Their goal is actually to surround you, and they actually do. Even though they're different species, they actually do work together, and they use their own advantages against you. Like you
Yep,
see archers, they'll continue to shoot at you. Even if you're slightly out of range, you see them kind of raise their shots up to try to even hit you from a distance.
yep,
And when it comes to like the Bacabas with the bats, they use their bats, and you don't see them doing things, where they just simple and dumb. They may be weak, but come up against 3 or 4 of them. If you're in an open field, they will find a way to split up and take you on from all sides.
yeah. They will surround you, and but you can. I mean, like these enemies are like they're. I mean, it's simple AI, but how it's used in the game is done really well. Like the ice Lizalfos will pretend like they're frozen statues, and they'll look at you right like a chameleon. You get too close, they'll jump up and freeze your ass in one hit. These are like you've seen reviews, like previews of this game before the embargo lifted, where they're like, there's an ice lizard in here that'll one shot takes off 6 hearts. Yeah, these are the ones 1 shot 6 hearts, mofo's. But if you have a fire rod, you hit these motherfuckers once, they melt like ice. It's ridiculous. It's like.
Exactly. And
You know,
me, like and it's actually good to use the environment to your advantage. Like I said, I've been in the canyon before with these 6 enemies, but what I did is where they were, their base camp, when they found out that when they seen me, I actually backed up where the canyon narrowed to where only 1 or 2 could actually get through at a time, and I
a
took out my
bottleneck.
spear instead of my
Yep.
sword. Yeah, it was a bottleneck, and basically that spear was actually hitting both of them because they were too close together. But I
Yep.
took out all 6 of them just like that. And you think to yourself, like you wouldn't think of that initially, but they react to what you do. And even when they drop their weapon, they're throwing things at you from like I say, a pebble to a brick. And on
Oh
one
yeah.
instance, I wish I was recording this. I had my Gotha hooked up and it was on my computer, but I didn't hit record yet. I
Hmm.
was fighting like a team of 4 bokoblins, and it was 3 red ones, 3 regulars, and one of them was blue with the heavy spike bat or whatever. And they were all approaching me in this open field. Well, I took one of the blue ones. I mean, I saw one of the red ones, and I knocked his weapon out of his hand. Well, he got back up, looked for his weapon, but I had grabbed it. He looked around twice, didn't see his weapon. He took the boulder, not like the little small rocks they throw. He took a boulder, held it above his head, and he threw it. The problem was his teammates were still chasing me, and I was backing up with my shield. You know what happened? He clobbered his own teammate on top of the head, and he died
Yeah,
right in front of me.
I mean, like the AI in this game, here's why I say Nintendo is the leader of this industry. Nintendo took, instead of just focusing on better graphics and it's 1080p with, it's 2K with like 50 gajillion pixels and I can see the sweat rolling down their face. They have good AI. Like these enemies are smart. Like I was fighting a Hinox and I kept on shooting them in the eye. Well, you shoot them in the eye enough, they get mad. And they get smart. They'll go and uproot a tree, and like you try and shoot them in the eye, they'll use their hand to shield their eye, their one weak spot, right? And they'll try and hit you with that damn tree. I mean, like the enemies are smart. It's like they're alive. It's like they're trying to stay alive.
And you know what though? They're not just smart. They're ruthless. Like my wife saw this. She was watching me play. This is I think yesterday. I got to this mountaintop somewhere and grassy area, and I saw a moblin and a bokoblin sitting there. It was just two of them. They were sitting down there in front of a campfire, and listen, though they were having a conversation. Like I'm talking about, literally, like this. You see the hand gestures, them reacting to each other, the mouth moving. It was crazy. We're talking about a moblin, which is like 3 times taller, but dumber when it comes to the senses, and the bokoblin sitting there. And then I alerted them. I hit the bokoblin and knocked his weapon out of his hand, right? And the moblin's walking up all slow with his big ass sword. Guys, I'm not making this shit up. When I knocked that bokoblin's weapon out of his hand, it's like the moblin was walking by and got pissed, and he was like, he grabbed the bokoblin, looked at him with his hand, and then he threw that bastard at me.
Yeah, he was like, man, fuck you, survival of the fittest, son.
And my wife said, I think I know what his words were. His words were, you dead already, bro. Like, if you lost the weapon, you're already dead to me, so.
It's you or me, son, and I decided me.
I mean, it was just funny to me, and people, I don't mean like some kind of cheap-ass, horribly animated throw. I mean, he literally lobbed his ass 20, 30 feet in the air directly at me.
Yep.
And it killed him. The impact killed him because he didn't have enough health left to take that fall. But it killed him. But it would have hit my ass. And I'm sitting here watching this in horror like that. You and him were just having a conversation.
Your friend, dude. I mean, I hope he didn't owe you no damn money or anything.
and then on top of that, another great thing about this game with the AI. The AI, they actually get pissed at one another. When you first let's say you throw like a bomb or something in their camp, you blow one of them up, and there's like 6 of them there. They'll get frustrated. And you'll see one walking to the other, and like he'll actually give him like a jailhouse kick. Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, it's like the kind of kick or hit. Like, hey man, get on your job. Like, or did you hit me or something? They really do like attack each other like in small ways like that.
Yep. I mean,
and I'm thinking like you can literally cause some civil unrest if you just annoy them and never be seen.
Yeah, you can get them to start fighting each other if you know how to do it. I mean, like this game is just it's so deep. It's so well made. It's so like how the wildlife interacts with, like I didn't know, like someone told me that you can tame a deer and ride a deer, and that's badass and everything. But I recently found out that you can mount a bear. You can friggin' tame and mount a bear. You can have a battle bear to ride out on. You can. I just recently found out that a liner, one of those minotaur type. Basically, these are the enemies from. They were in the original Legend of Zelda. They're also in Link to the Past. On top of Death Mountain, that like before you got powered up or anything, they could like one shot took off 6 hearts. Those mofos. These dudes right here, you can in this game, in this version, you can once you stun them, you can mount them and try and tame them. and I'm gonna go back and try and tame one of them because I mean that's gonna be totally badass. a battle lineup.
And I mean, and people, let me tell you one of the best parts about this game. To me, this is really the best part about this game. Everything we mentioned, at least in my opinion, is awesome. But this is the best part about this game to me. There's a reason why this game is called Breath of the Wild. The physics engine, as we said, is awesome. But and there's a reason why you've been hearing stuff like, well, I heard they don't have much music in the game. If you have a home theater system, I don't care if it's a shitty 2.1, 3.1, whatever. I don't care. You have a home theater system. Turn that bitch up. And when you go into grass, you go into environments, especially at night, you hear all the crickets. You hear all these things going on, like that you actually hear in real life. If you were out in on the Serengeti or you're out at night in the woods, you hear and see all this stuff. You see the grass as you actually hear the wind blowing. You see the wind even change direction. Even if you have a torch lit, you'll see the torch's little particle flames change
Yep.
direction as they're according to how the wind blows. All
Mm-hmm.
these things, it's like sensory overload. You can literally hear what is going on in the game, and that can even be a determinant as to what is approaching you or what's going to happen. Like when you're stalking a deer because you want to kill, all that shit that's happening, it's important. It's important because when wind's blowing, it's kind of messing with the hearing of the animals, so they can't really hear you as well if it was dead quiet. And there are times the wind will be blowing, and you see the grass moving with it, and then all of a sudden you see the grass stop moving so much, and the wind sound goes away. All these things run in perfect unison to where nothing feels unnatural out of place. And you really do feel like you are there. You get really tense. You're trying to hunt some shit, and you don't want to be heard.
Yep. I mean, like in the game, like I said, this game is fucking awesome. Now, would I say that it's perfect? No. But look, I don't want to give. I don't like giving scores, but if I had to give a score to this game, I'd give it an A minus.
Hey, I can agree with you, man. I would give it a straight A. Because, like I said, no game is perfect. There are going to be some things you have an issue with. But let me tell you something. The shit people are complaining about, like some people saying is empty. There are empty parts. When you're on top of a damn frozen tundra, there's not gonna be much wildlife up there, folks. There's
Nope.
not.
And
There's not.
believe me, on the frozen tundra, some of the enemies I met in near Mount Lenariu, that are like in the frozen area, like these wolves that'll fucking attack you and can take like 4 hearts of damage, and like they're wolves, so they attack in packs. So there's like 2 or 3 of them. But I killed a few of them, and now they fear me because they found out they can, if to quote Jesse Ventura from Predator, if it bleeds, it can die. They found out they can die. So, but yeah, I mean, like it's frozen tundra. It's not gonna be crowded. Basically, but here's the thing: if you're in an area that seems really, really like conspicuously empty, be careful because some shit's probably gonna jump out at you.
Exactly. That does happen. There are times where you may reach an empty part, but even though it's empty, you're meant to actually gaze at the wonderment of what's going on. Every blade of grass moves, and a lot of times you can actually see the grass moving in different ways. It's not like all the grass at the exact same time move to the left certain amount of units. You see every blade of grass actually like blowing individually.
Yeah, I mean, look, the game is really good. It's a technical marvel. As a Legend of Zelda game, we've never seen a Legend of Zelda like this. Even the original Zelda was not like this because while this game is kind of doesn't really hold your hand, it does give you hints about where to go and what to do next. The original
Exactly.
Legend of Zelda didn't. The original Legend of Zelda was like, here's a sword, you're on your own, and you didn't even really need to get the sword. It's like
And
you're on your own, Jack. That was the original Legend of Zelda.
And another thing I can it's also a note in this game, and it has to relate also with the physics engine. People, this game makes you really think of it. It makes you really contemplate your survival. It really does because, for example, if you are hiking too high on a mountain, you will see the temperature drop.
Yep.
You'll see Link go from normal breathing and stuff like that to start seeing like the cold breath mist coming out of his mouth, but
Yep.
he's not too cold where it's damaging. And then if you keep going or you get to a colder area, he starts freezing to death basically.
Yep.
And you can pull out a torch and you can light a torch that'll keep you warm and from freezing to death, or you can break out some wood, some flint, strike it with your sword or your knife or whatever metal weapon you have, and start a fire and keep warm. And you can actually keep warm for the rest of the night or whatever until you decide to go. But it has this kind of stuff in it where you feel like you have to do these things to survive.
Yep. I mean, and like the game is just so damn. The game just has so much content in it. And here's the thing. And yet they've for $20 they got more shit they're gonna get. I mean, goddamn, you know, this game is ridiculous. This game, and here's the thing: Nintendo ain't done yet. I know in Japan they're coming out with Xenoblade Chronicles, the next Xenoblade Chronicles. So, you know, if that game comes to America this year, that's going to be a big thing. I don't think it will. I think that's going to be pushed back for America at least until next year. But if Mario Odyssey comes out this year, that's two big award-winning generation-defining games coming out
Yeah.
within in the same year. I mean, that's fucking ridiculous.
And I'll tell anyone, people, Zelda, it is the truth. The shit you've been hearing about game of all time, don't believe the naysayers that say, but it's Zelda, or it's this, or it's that. When I say Nintendo broke a lot of conventions to make this Zelda, they did. You may see familiar monsters, you may see familiar things, familiar tunics, familiar attacks. But when I say this is a different Zelda, I will admit I hadn't even played all the Zelda games. I own a lot of them, but I haven't played them all. I just haven't. But I'm telling you, this game will make it hard to go back to those other ones because of what they've done with this game. Any open world game, like for example, for me, here's the best example I can give. One of my favorite shooters of all time, outside of Splatoon, before Splatoon, it was Red Faction Guerrilla on the Xbox 360. I think it was on the PS3 as well. Main reason because it's a third person shooter that had online, multiplayer, but it had total environment destruction. Meaning, if a dude ran into a building, you could actually take out your sledgehammer or even your rocket launcher and take out that building. You actually see the roof and everything fall on him, and you see a few seconds later you kill such and such due to building or whatever. That game, that's why I loved it, and that's why I stopped playing Call of Duty after Black Ops 2 because they weren't doing anything. They just kept rehashing the same thing. This game, I feel the same way when it comes to open world games. I'm not saying what I won't play. I won't play another one because I'm going to get Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm going to get that game, and I have Fallout 4. I'm just simply telling you, any open world game from here on out that claims to be totally open, if it's on the par with Zelda, I'm going to call bullshit every time. So don't tell me you're a Zelda killer. Don't tell me you got a game that's gonna, challenge it. I don't want to hear it because this game is going to change the way we view open world games. You think Grand Theft Auto 5 is open? I challenge you. I challenge you to try Zelda. It will put that game to shame. Every place in Zelda is accessible. Grand Theft Auto 5, there's only 5 buildings you can actually go into in that game.
It's not that. It's not that low.
Well,
It's
I,
not
I
that.
mean, of course, it's a slight exaggeration, but what I'm saying is, you see all those buildings in that game, you can only enter a handful of them. The rest are just there as props. They may show a
Um.
deer in the open wilderness and stuff like that, but even though they show a deer, you can't interact with the environment as much as you can in Zelda. Like in Zelda, you know how a lot of games may have like NPC animals that you see and you can probably interact with, and it just had like a little talk bubble that says wolf for a dog or something like that. Or if you run into like an inanimate or like an animal that has nothing to do with the game, but you can just interact with it just to give you a little bit of realism. In this game, you can capture a frog or a light bug, or you can shoot them shits down with an arrow. I've actually
Yeah.
walked up to a frog. It started hopping away. This is a useless NPC for the most part. And I
Mhm.
pulled back my arrow and shot him in his ass. And I had frog legs.
I
Like
did not.
honestly,
I did not do that. I haven't shot any frogs, but you can arrow shoot for you can shoot arrows for fish. You can bomb for fish. The one thing I'm missing from this game, I wish they had fishing in this game, like traditional fishing with the hook and everything. That was kind of a missed opportunity to me.
well, do we know if they have it yet or not? Because I heard some people say that they think it's in the game. You just got to get a fishing rod or something.
Sounds like your wife's having a tough time.
Well, she's on the part that I was at last night, where it's like this canyon wall or whatever that has like a moblin and bokoblins on it, and they're on wooden basically plateaus on the wall, and there's like a chest on there, and
She
you
needs
know.
fire arrows.
But it's just to me, open world has a new meaning. It really does. It's like when I played Mass Effect when they were hyping that game with the first Mass Effect, where they said all your choices will have a significant impact and stuff like that. You can change the ending. You can change what happens in the game. That hyped me up, and then to realize that no matter what choices you make, it only has a few significant changes, but you still get the same thing in the end, regardless. But this game, the way you tackle stuff, the way you do missions, people, in a sense, in a sense, there are no missions because you don't have to do them. Like they say, you can go straight to Ganon if you want to. You get your ass kicked, but if you
Exactly.
want to, you can go straight to Ganon, and
Like
it's great. I won't do it. I know some people that were going to do it, but
but
just
God bless them. Yeah, they can look, knock yourself out. Go to Castle Hyrule right now. Like here's the only thing that bothers me about the game. Um, not really bothers, but the only issue that I really have. Um, like overall about the structure. Um, the game is good. The structure is good. My one issue is that the game kind of like I said, it's not ultra structured. So basically, like you can miss stuff, like blatantly obvious stuff. And if you're not used to playing Legend of Zelda games and certain situations arise, you're not gonna have the tool set really necessary to deal with it. You're gonna have to die and then figure that shit out yourself, which is kind of a pain in the ass. I'm not happy about that. But I mean, that's also part of the gameplay experience is learning how to get better at this shit. Um,
I just to me, it really is just amazing the stuff you can do. It's gonna people is going to set standards. It already has. Like I can, this is not me being a fanboy, but I can see Sony and Microsoft shitting their pants because of this game. I can see it. Both the console and this game, it's like Nintendo came swinging out of the gate really hard. Now for the most part, we know that no other game that they release probably, for this year or the next year is probably going to give us the same experience or raise the bar the way Breath of the Wild does. But knowing they came swinging out the gate this hard, it's going to be hard to top that because before you could argue that, yeah, games get better in the generation. Yeah, that game was good, but it came at the end. This is the beginning, folks.
so you can imagine how badass the next Legend of Zelda game is. Now, I will be fair. I'm enjoying this game. It's fun. But I do think that once you become more experienced, a lot of things lose their luster. Like the first time you run into a Guardian, it's like, oh shit, this dude's pretty badass. But once you figure out how to defeat a Guardian, it's like, okay, I'm gonna run up this. I'm gonna get to this tree. I'm gonna get in the tree, and then when he aims for me, I'm gonna shoot him in the eye. And just rinse and repeat because they just sit there. It's like, yeah, you're just gonna sit there and let me shoot you in the eye, dummy. It's like, I felt like
Exactly.
Red Fox from Sanford and Son. Yeah, dummy, just gonna sit there and let me shoot you in the eye, dummy.
I mean, true. And like, I haven't tried to tackle one yet, but I do plan to. Don't get me wrong. But to me, it's just, I mean, people, it's amazing. It is amazing. Like, I can honestly say that I think that I got my Switch midnight Thursday/Friday. I think that first 24 hours, the system may have been off for a total of 2 to 4. The next day, it was probably on the entire damn day. And honestly, my friends list, I think I may have seen people playing Fast RMX or Bomberman like maybe twice. I mean, it's not even the fact that everyone has this game. There's a reason why this game is essentially sold out. We're talking about a game. When is the last time we heard of games selling out? When on release day, where you can't find a copy. My Best Buy ran
Well,
out of Bombermans.
well, I'll be fair. Like here's the thing. This system, and this is one of the legit gripes for the system. This system, I mean, like it had what five, like 6, 7 games at launch, physical, like day
No,
one
I
games.
think it was 5 physical games and 6 digital.
So it had basically 11 games at launch. Well, I mean, because I know some of those are downloadable versions of the physical game. So let's just say 7 games at launch. Okay, that's cool, but I mean, the system is very bare bones right now. I'm excited. Like I have the same excitement for the system as I did for the Wii U when it first came out. I can envision what the potential with the system. I can envision where they can take it. Now it's up to third parties, and I mean, because we know Nintendo is going to do the best they can. Every single console they've done the best they could. You know, circumstances permit. We know they're going to do some cool shit with the system, but I want to see what second parties are going to do, and third parties who actually give a shit are going to do. So, I mean, I want to see what the system can do for people who think differently than Nintendo. And when that happens, I'm going to be ecstatic with joy. But, if it happens, I'll be happy. If not, well, whatever.
Well, yeah, man. Once again, I would just say it's a great system. Breath of the Wild is a great game. And another game I want to talk about shortly before we end this podcast is I'm not sure if you got it, Red Fox, but man, believe it or not, as much as I love Zelda, Breath of the Wild, the first game I played and played for about 1 or 2 hours, Snipper Clips. Snipper Clips is awesome. Don't people don't let the paper mache and the cuteness fool you. Snipper Clips is a riot.
Yeah, it's
It's a
very
riot.
good.
Yeah, I mean, and guess what? I mean, it may not be as fun. It can be played one player. You just take turns controlling different characters. But honestly, Snipper Clips. If you have a girlfriend, boyfriend, a significant other, spouse, whatever, Snipper Clips. You know how they say, Mario Kart 8 ruins, friendships. Snipper Clips will probably it can help or hurt marriages and relationships. And here's why I say that. You both are going to have a plan of how you want to do things to solve the puzzle. And you both are going to think that your idea is the better one. When your significant other or spouse does some shit that in your mind doesn't make any goddamn sense, you're going to have this disgusted look on your face
Fucked up.
like there were more than a few times. I love my wife and she loves me, but there were more than a few times where I look back at her and she had this look on her face like, okay, that was bullshit. And even one time she says, "You call yourself a gamer?" I mean, seriously, this is over a damn puzzle because you each have your own. You're working together, but you're subconsciously not working together. Subconsciously, she may be thinking, okay, make yourself into a scoop, go pick up the ball, and then I'll help. I'll back you up when you carry it down, and then you throw it in the hoop. When it bricks or hits the rim, you're sitting there like, oh shit. But in your mind, you're like, okay, we'll fix this. And their mind, they're like, how could you mess that up? And it's insane. And then when you go to fix the problem, you both go fix it. You both have your own ideas on how to fix it, and it's just not going to work out. it requires communication, but understand that you're gonna be pissed off with your significant other because they're not doing things the way you think they should be doing them. So I advise anyone.
Sounds like she got a little
Yeah, some blue bokoblin kind of sliced her up a bit, so she's having to take in a few radishes. But honestly, Snipper Clips is well worth the $20 purchase. I haven't played Bomberman yet. I do have it. My wife has. She says it was actually fun. She hasn't played online yet, but I have heard that the online is ridiculous. So I'll be getting to that soon.
a Bomberman or
Super Bomberman R, yeah.
okay.
But another thing I recommend people, that Pro controller is the truth. This is not. I love the Joy Cons. I love Joy Cons in the grip. I love them separately. I even love them in the handheld mode. Don't get me wrong. I love them just as much. But that Pro controller is the truth. It is so comfortable. I think I don't think I charged it when I first got it, and it didn't go dead until like Sunday. So we're talking about 3 days of playing games essentially. But great controller. If you're gonna get one, if you're gonna get a Switch, I recommend at least picking that up at least down the line. Do yourself a favor. It's great. But that's not me shitting on the Joy Cons. The Joy Cons are awesome. They really are awesome. They make the best use, I believe, of the HD Rumble more so. But yeah, Pro Controller, pick one up. Don't let anyone tell you different. I know you're thinking $70, but let me tell you something. If an AC adapter by itself costs $30, go ahead and take about 15, $20 off the price of the Pro Controller because it comes with a charging cable. So you actually get a spare cable. It's actually a USB cable you can plug into a wall adapter like your cell phone does already. So it's kind of like you don't have to buy a spare USB-C, a Type C. Just go ahead and get one of those spare wall adapters and plug it in there, and you can charge your shit. That's simple. So that's part of the reason it probably costs $70. But yeah, it's great. The analogs are great. The buttons feel great. They're bigger than the ones on the Joy Cons. It's comfortable. Great system. I mean, I'm sorry, great controller. What about you, Ray? You got anything?
The Switch is sexy, has a lot of potential. Breath of the Wild is fucking awesome. I'm not saying it's 10 out of 10 awesome. It's 9 out of 10 awesome, maybe 9.1, but not 10 out of 10. But it's pretty damn good. And this is a game to get lost in. I'm looking forward to getting more games for the system as they're released. And it's awesome. It's the shit. And I've got some capture footage of Breath of the Wild coming up with me getting my ass kicked and taking down certain bosses. So look forward to that. Oh, and I'm doing a podcast this Saturday.
Did you cancel the last one?
I did because no one showed up. It's going to be 7 to 8:30, and originally I was going to do it about the Switch, but I'm doing that now, so we'll just do a business cast about the sales.
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry to make that one, man. Yeah, as you can imagine, you know what I was
know
doing.
the Breath of the Wild. The Breath of the Wild's got everybody. It got me. I was like, oh well. And I just went back to Breath of the Wild. So.
Well, anyway, guys, that's it for tonight. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. It was really, just spur of the moment. But as I stated, Switch, definitely worth it. Pick one up if you can find one. I've heard they're gone. um, I went to a couple stores where I actually saw them being sold out in front of me. I already had mine, of course, but I actually saw them counting them down and announcing like, okay, we got 6 left. We got 5 left. I'm thinking like these guys behind me or even in front of me are not going to get one. But if you can get one, get one. I know you may be thinking that, oh, it's only Zelda, and it's okay if you want to wait. I'm just simply saying, don't use that excuse of I'm going to get it when it's cheaper, or I'm going to get it later on. It's going to, have a game. You may get a digital game included with it, but I can guarantee you it won't be Zelda, and it probably won't be Arms or Splatoon either. I'll just tell you that now. So get one when you can. I will hate for you to be in another Wii situation. But as I always say, keep it gaming and screw the haters, man. Let them keep talking.
Bastards. Oh man.